Hi, Peter G. James Sinclair here. I've just been interviewed on ABC Radio and I would love to share the interview with you because the interviewer was able to pull out some information that I rarely share with those who I write my Motivational Memo blog. So enjoy the material and may it equip you to experience the success that you deserve in the days that lie ahead.
Hey, this coming Friday, your chance to get acquainted with a very interesting fellow. Peter G. James Sinclair is a best-selling author. He's a motivational speaker. He's also chairman of his own web design company. You might have caught, or someone might have sent to you, a link to his motivational memo blog. So every day he will send a motivational memo to your inbox. He's an interesting fellow. He is speaking this coming Friday at the Western Downs Regional Council's annual mayoral prayer breakfast, raising funds this time for school chaplaincies in the Miles and Wandoan area. Now, the breakfast is happening at the Miles Historical Village and Museum this coming Friday from 6:30, and Peter G. James Sinclair joins me now. And Peter, it's I guess it's one thing to be a success in business, but when did you decide that you wanted to be a motivator and share your secrets with others?
Look, David, it came purely from a very simple explanation that I have, and people do ask me, why am I a motivational speaker and a motivational author? It's a simple fact. I needed motivating. And I started to read material that inspired me and encouraged me in my own business life. And the more I read, the more I decided that I could probably write something of similar quality with my own personal spin. And so the motivation has really come out of my own personal motivation, and now I've been able to share it with others, both in speech and in the written word.
At that point, when you decided that you needed motivation and this was the way to do it, was that before you'd achieved any success business-wise, or did it sort of come sometime after that? When did that happen?
No, the journey began long before I experienced any success in business. The road to success is an interesting one, and I often tell people, in most cases, it's not a straight path. It's a zigzag highway, and no matter how long that zigzag takes, once you get to the end, it's still success. So my journey began long before I experienced any significant success in any business venture.
When you say that you were reading some people that inspired you and you felt that you could do it yourself, who was it that inspired you? And the reason I ask that is because you go into any bookshop now, and as you know, the motivational section, I think, is expanding all the time. It's massive. It's given great prominence. This is a very prolific genre in writing. So who inspired you?
Well, look, I've recently written a motivational blog. I actually have a blog which is called motivationalmemo.com, mm-hmm. And I write material in there on a regular basis. And I recently wrote an article, and it went this way: it was the 15 books that destroyed my mediocre life. And so I've got a list of 15 there. So if anyone wants to check that out, just need to go to motivationalmemo.com, and the list is there. But the one book that really did impact me was a book called The Magic of Thinking Big, by Dr. David Schwartz. And it's the only book that I completely wore it out. I've still got the original copy, and it's in tatters because I just continually return to that book. You're so correct in saying that the genre has expanded quite significantly with books like Chicken Soup for the Soul. Just sold hundreds of millions of copies.
Yeah.
But I just continue to keep coming back to The Magic of Thinking Big, and that's one book that I encourage young people to read, and those are my genre to read as well, because it just shares, even though it was written in the late 50s, early 60s, the principles are so simple and so simple to apply. And the one I'm particularly thinking of right now is the statement that he makes in that book: action cures fear. And that was one of the 3 words that just absolutely transformed my life. I got off my backside, and I just got out there, and I started to raise some dust and put some action in there. And whenever I stepped out in business, whenever I applied action, whatever fears I had just seemed to disappear and dissipate. So that's a beauty.
It's funny, I was going to ask you, what is the biggest hurdle? You talk to a lot of people. What is the biggest hurdle that most people say is stopping them from success, or that you see? But I guess that's it. We all don't think big enough, or don't have enough confidence in our own abilities. Would that be right?
Oh, totally true. Look, I've got a saying, you know, if you sit on the fence, there's only one thing you're going to get, and it's called splinters. You know, we've got to get off the fence, and it is so true. People do lack confidence, and in the word motivation, I think the greatest contribution that I can put into people's lives is to just instill confidence in them of their own personal abilities. You know, each of us are unique. Each of us have been created with specific giftings and talents, and you know, so often we mismatch our talents with the tasks that we're trying to achieve. And I really encourage people to do a few things. And the first thing is, one, you know, identify your strengths. Find out what you really love doing and what you're good at, naturally. Then put yourself in a position where you can begin to develop those strengths. And one of the most powerful things that I've learned through the years to develop those strengths is, you know, attach yourself with someone who has done what you're wanting to do or been where you want to go, and learn from them. You know, successful people I've found, you know, they're ready to share a lot of things. I had a young bloke come up to me the other week and he said, I want you to coach me for 12 months. So I said, how much are you going to pay me? He said, nothing. And I ended up coming back to him through a few conversations, and I've ended up coaching him in business for a period of 3 months. And I'm doing that for free because I see that he's fair income. And then after 3 months, we'll talk about the dollars and cents. So, and then the third thing is, you know, we need to identify our weaknesses. One thing is we can't do everything. And the fourth thing I teach people is delegate those weaknesses. Find someone who, in that area where you're weak, they're strong, and add them to your team. And then you can get things done.
Peter, great to talk to you this morning. I'll let you get on your way. I know you've got a lot of people to talk to, and I know a lot of people looking forward to seeing you in Miles on Friday the 18th. But I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
And before you go, don't forget to download your free copy of Discovering the You in Unique. It's a fantastic ebook that could change your life, so make sure you get your copy today.